Now today we're driving a 2006 Acura TL. My goal here today is to provide two videos in one. Talk about the pros and the cons of the Acura TL, but also as a follow-up. In the past we did a rather large repair on this specific vehicle. We replaced the front subframe, which is a large piece of metal that the engine and transmission sits in. And at the time when I uploaded that video, I mentioned that I still have to get insurance, tags, it needed tires, and an alignment. So here we are roughly 3 months later. I've placed well over 2,000 miles on the vehicle, and I figured might as well do a follow-up. So what are the really pros or the really excellent features on this vehicle? I would say certainly the engine, a really nice engine. I believe it pushes out 270 horsepower, very fluid, very smooth, no vibration. It's the type of engine that you put your foot into it, it does throw you back a little bit, and it just takes off really nicely. The transmission is sort of interesting with this vehicle. I've noticed that if you coast around 20-25 miles an hour, it does upshift a little hard. You'll feel it upshift. But if you're accelerating 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, very smooth. You don't even feel the shifts. So it's a type of vehicle, at least with this specific TL, it wants to be driven. It wants to be sort of pushed in the corners. It wants you to press on the accelerator and just go. It's a very sporty feeling sedan. Coming over to the interior, really nice place to be. The leather's high quality. In fact, it does have some aluminum around the steering wheel controls. In the back, it's a little cheap. Right below the Bluetooth controls, you can hear the plastic. It drives me crazy, this one point on this car. That's the only cheap point on the entire vehicle. But other than that, really nice high quality cabin. The audio is excellent. Has a number of speakers. In fact, there's one right here in the middle. Also in the rear between the two head pieces, there's also a center rear speaker. Really nice, clear sounding audio system. In fact, when you purchased this vehicle brand new, they provided an audio DVD, and that DVD provided a number of different samples, and the clarity on the radio is really very, very good. Unfortunately, at least for 2006, it does not support Bluetooth audio. It does have Bluetooth for telephone calls, but for the audio, it just doesn't exist. So it's something that we will upgrade very, very soon. Everything works as you would expect a Honda to. In other words, the wiper controls, the HVAC, in other words, the heating and the air conditioning controls. Controls for the lights, the wipers, like I said, power locks, power windows, sunroof, everything works 100%. Going to the exterior, really high quality paint. In fact, when I obtained this vehicle, on the lower door toward the valance, it had a number of, it was very, very rough, almost like it has been washed in years. And I clay barred everything, waxed it, the whole deal, and the car shines like it's brand new. Very, very high quality paint. After 13 years here in the northeastern United States, where we have 3 to 4 months of nasty weather, that's something to say that the paint quality is still very good. And the best way I would sum up this vehicle is it's a lot of fun to drive. It's a sporty vehicle, does have its luxury to it, but it does put a smile on your face. It has plenty of power, plenty of grunt, fun in the turns. It's a nice all-around vehicle. But what are the downsides with this vehicle? Well, there are some things to talk about. Number one are the axles. These vehicles are known to break axles. Same with the Honda Accords. So when this was donated to me, in fact, when I was doing all that repair, I replaced both front axles. And now we have lifetime warranty, and it was less than $200. Not a hard repair. So if your TL is getting up there in age, it's a good idea to replace the axles. The other thing is, in cold climate, in cold weather, the power steering pumps on these sometimes whine. In other words, you turn the wheel and you hear whom, whum, 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 whum. And we actually did a video, which was my brother's car years ago. We did a repair video on that. And all that it is these O-rings that live in the power steering pump. Very inexpensive, and it completely solves the problem. I'll include a link below if you do have something going on with your TL regarding that. Very, very easy fix. These do have timing belts, so that's something you do have to check every so often. We do have a video showing on how you check the timing belts on the TL. So the other thing to talk about is the Bluetooth system, specifically a battery draw problem. What may happen to you, and this has happened to my brother who owned a TL for a number of years. My father-in-law owns an 08 MDX. Recently happened to him. You turn off your vehicle and then you attempt to start it the next day and the battery is completely dead. You charge the battery, you test the battery, it's perfectly fine, but you keep on having the same problem over and over. What happens is when the Bluetooth system starts to go, which lives right here, there's a little module that lives right here in the Acura. And when the system starts to go, you turn off the vehicle, but this system still draws the battery power. And when you start the vehicle, there's nothing left the next day. And there's a test you could do. In fact, Scotty Kilmer and Eric the Car Guy have very excellent videos on this. It's called a parasitic draw test. Essentially, all that you do is you're taking a multimeter and pulling fuses. And once you see a change in the multimeter, that's the affected circuit. And it's a very, very well-known problem with the Acura. So just keep an eye on that. If you're losing battery power, chances are it's to your Bluetooth system. But overall, I think these are really compelling vehicles. I've seen these for under $4,000, and you have a really nice vehicle. If you could find one that's been owned by 1 or 2 people, have records of all the maintenance, they've garaged the vehicle, you can have a really nice car that's going to last you for a number of years. They're really very nice and fun vehicles to drive. They do require 93 octane, so it does cost a little bit more to fill these up. For example, for me, again, being in the Northeast here, roughly 40 bucks to fill it up from pretty close to being empty. So it's on the higher end, but I do average 33 miles per gallon on the highway, and I do enjoy this. The more I drive this vehicle, the more I enjoy it. That's a pretty good summary on how I feel about this vehicle. So thank you for watching. If you have an Acura TL and I missed anything, maybe some points you want to mention and point out, please leave those comments below. We will continue to upload repair videos for this vehicle, and until next time, thank you for watching.